I'm going to show how to install the G2 competition handguard systems today. They come in 6 different colors. They come in both 7/8 and 1 1/8. The handguard system comes complete with everything that you should need. It comes with the clamps that can be mounted in the over, the under position. It comes with the split wedges, which those are what you fasten the handguard system to the end of the handlebars. It comes with billet grip protectors, and what these are for is if you ever take your handguards off to go moto, you just take the handguards off, and because the end of your grips will be cut off, you use the billet grip protectors to cover the end of your grips. Whenever picking handguards, you need to first decide if you have 7/8 bars or 1 1/8 bar, and I'll show you the difference. A 7/8 handlebar, it's the same diameter from this end all the way across. There's no variation. An 1 1/8 handlebar is what we call this, or a tapered handlebar, and what it does, it's 7/8 out here, but then it tapers all the way into where it clamps to an 1 1/8. Those are two things that you need to decide when ordering a handguard system. Our handguard systems we have plastic that also fits all of our handguard systems, and I'll show you at a later time how to mount that. Before we get started, the first thing that you need to do is you either need to cut the end of your throttle tube with grip off because you need the end exposed, or if you're using a G2 throttle, it has the ability of, it has a removable end cap, so we would remove that. The next step we will do, you need to loosen up your throttle, and you want to slide that in so the end of the bar is exposed. The next thing that we will do is we will start with the clamp. The G2 clamp has the ability to be mounted in the under or the over position depending on the things that you need to work around on your handlebar. In this particular application, we're going to do it in the under position. The first thing that we need to do is on the clamp, they're lettered with a T. The T stands for taper, and what that means is the handlebar here goes from thinner to thicker. The clamp is designed to fit the handlebar accordingly. So with the T, we put that to the inward position. So we will take our clamp, put it on the handlebar. All we're trying to do is just get the pieces in location. So we're going to put the screws in just so it holds everything in the appropriate place. The competition handguard system comes with split wedges and the blade. So what we need to do, how the split wedges work, is when you tighten them, the wedge off-centers itself and tightens on the inside of the handlebar. So we'll take the assembly apart. One end is threaded, the other is not. The non-threaded goes on first. Then you do it to where the opposing bevels go against each other. We'll tighten it up just a little bit. The next thing that we will do, we will insert this into the end of the handlebar. Everything is still very loose. All of the G2 handguard systems come pre-bent. In most instances, it's as simple as bolting up. In a few instances, because of the differences of width, bends, handlebars, there might need to be a little tweaking, but in most instances it will bolt straight up. Now as you see, we just have everything is real loose. So the first thing we want to do is start to tighten everything ever so slightly, a little bit on everything until we know where we're going to mount this. So I will start on the end. I'm just going to turn all the bolts in just a little bit. For your first time of doing a handguard, an impact is probably not the best tool to use. Once we see that we're starting to get everything in its position, Handguard should be to where the blade is run pretty much parallel with the ground. So as I'm starting to get everything into position, I'm going to just start tightening everything a little more. Now when you're tightening the clamp, you want to make sure that the top and the bottom gap pretty much stay the same. And turn each screw just a little. Monitor your gaps a little bit. If you get one a little out of center, loosen it, tighten the other one until things starting to snug up a little bit. And as it snugs up, I just keep going around, tweaking the bolts. The key when doing hand guards is you want the surfaces to be flush here so that it's a good surface. You want on the end of the handlebar to where things are straight in line. There's no tip, no angle. The G2 system, it comes pre-bent. As you see, it all fits up pretty nice with these Pro Taper handlebars. I just keep going from bolt to bolt, snugging things a little bit at a time, monitoring my gaps. And there you see, we have it installed. That didn't take very long. Now the next thing that you'll need to do, because we have a gap between our throttle and the hand guard, you need to make sure that the throttle is not moved to where it rubs on the end of the handlebar. It will cause a sticking. So now that we're done, we'll loosen up. Naturally we need a grip, which we'll show you how to do later. And always when working around or with the throttle, you always want to make sure that the action of the throttle, that it snaps back so that nothing else is interfering with it. And we have room for all of our controls, nothing is hitting. We have an open space. We also offer plastic that fits our hand shields. It comes as a kit. It comes with the plastic, the self-tapping screws, and a drill bit so that you can install it on your competition handguard system. And it comes in 6 colors. We also offer nylon inserts. They're a replacement for the wedges. The advantage to these are once they're in, they stay in place. They do not come loose. Never have to worry about your handguard system coming loose.